Okay, I think I'm live now. This is a quick live stream. It just came to me, like all of this, what this stream is all about. It all came to me yesterday night. Some of you know that I've been working on this scene here, um, and it's looking absolutely fantastic. And what I decided to do um, while I was doing this is I'm doing the extremes and keys. And what I decided to do while I was doing this was a hunch comes to me. You know, your mind wanders, and then I thought, well, you know, I haven't actively thought about growing my YouTube channel for a while. I've just been doing what I've been doing, but sometimes little ideas come to me and think, well, let's do it. Let's play the game a little bit. I mean, I'm not one of these people that pander to doing fan art or whatever, but I'm really enjoyed the Stranger Things series, and in my mind, I was thinking of Elle looking like Tetsuo because, in my opinion, she's a complete rip-off of Tetsuo, even down to her massive forehead. So what I did while I was doing this animation, and because anime is just so much easier and there's so much simpler, I thought, well, it's not really going to be hard for me to have a little quick experiment. So I just Googled while I was having a break, because this is pretty intense drawing and animation doing something like this. I Googled L from Stranger Things, and I Googled Tetsuo from Akira. And I knocked this drawing out, didn't really put much thought into it. It could be better, but it's sort of like an anime-ish, Tetsuo-ish L from Stranger Things. And then I mean, anime. The way anime works is it's all, you know, very shift and tracy kind of stuff. So I've been doing one frame of this, I've been going back and doing one frame of this, or two or three frames of this, because this is so much easier to do than this stuff. So so eventually I got it to this stage. I'm not going to tell you what she says. See if you can guess what she's saying. Let's have a look. So normal anime doesn't really lip sync, but I have standards. But anyway, so what I thought I'll do today is I thought I will show you, like many times when I've been on animation commissions or storyboard commissions, you'd want to make as much money as possible. So you'd take more than one job as a freelancer, and because I was working from home, and these were all for major studios, so I would be doing a Matt Hatter Chronicles and episode of Horrid Henry at the same time, you know, and I would be boarding them, you know, in conjunction. Now, obviously, this is a very, you know, you got to really know what you're doing, and you got to be super efficient to be doing two projects at once. Otherwise, your brain's going to just completely be unable to focus. So obviously, I'm talking about when you get to, you know, a really confident, secure level. But I thought I'd disclose this to you because I don't think I've talked about it much. So let's do that. Let's just work on two frames. So I'm gonna first do the frame, this frame here, and then I'll show you how after doing that frame I might do two or three frames of this, and you know, getting shit done, really, which is what this stream is. So we've got people in the chat. If you want to chat and talk to me while I do this, or ask me questions, go ahead. I'm not going to be around for long because I'm working, I'm getting shit done. But let's go ahead and do this. All right. So this movement here. Again, I know exactly what's happening. This is on thirds, okay? So this is the second third spacing from here to here. So finding out the first third spacing is simply just halving it between here and here. So as I said, this is a lot harder to do than the anime style. So I would, you know, many times I would like, and I'm locking this stuff down as I go, right? Which is being even more efficient, you know. So as I'm doing that, um, I there's a lot of focused, concentrated brain efforts going into this. See, this sleeve is here, this sleeve is here. I don't want this to be on a third, okay? Now, I wouldn't draw multiple charts for people, so I don't want this to be on a half, sorry. I want this to be on 1/3, even though all of this going up is on a half. You know, I want this to be on 1/3. But I wouldn't bother because the information is already there, so even if I had an assistant, I wouldn't really bother. In fact, I was listening to James Baxter talking about milk cow, and he, you know, I was quite happy because I wasn't aware of this. He said he would study milk cow's animation, and he noticed that milk cow would only use one chart. Now, I have occasionally tried to use more than one chart throughout my life, and I've never really enjoyed doing it. And even the way I train people in the Real Animator Training Library is the way I've always done it, which is to work on this very sort of extremes and keys thing, getting your spacing all worked out at that level, and then going in further with breakdowns and charting it. And unless, you know, there's some real significant use of another chart, and I do explain it in the training library on the standard walk cycle, there's no real point. So I felt very happy to learn that I was, you know, intuitively working in a similar way to the way the great Milt Kahl works, even without studying his stuff. So you see here, there's a lot of difficult drawing to do. You know, I make it look easy, but it's difficult drawing. I've got to think about all these elements moving in, you know, changing the shape. Whereas if we look, let's go back to look at the anime thing that I'm doing. There's hardly, it's almost cut out. I've tried to refrain from making it cut out, but you know, there's hardly any change in the shape happening on something like this, right? Whereas with this, there's so much more challenging drawings to do when it comes to stuff like this. So that's essentially what I might do even on this stream is the way I was doing it yesterday. Is I would rough this, and then then I would go and do a frame of that, and then I would come back and now I've got his head going down here before going up. That's interesting. So he looks here. Okay. Let's have him. Yeah, this is going to arc like this. I see what I did there. So in my original rough, you see, rather than arcing this straight up here, because these are key frames actually that I'm putting in here. So you see, there's a lot more brain work involved. So I figured that this will be like a quick little stream where you see me knock out maybe this one frame of this hyper quality Disney, you know, super feature quality animation, and then you see me do the anime stuff at the same time, which is you know, so much more straightforward, so much less brain work in terms of the animator's mindset. And many times I've mentioned it, and I don't think people understand. I've given demonstrations where I've shown how easy and fast it is to do quick Sakuga movements, but then, you know, aside from the quick Sakuga movements, a lot of anime is just made up of, you know, these talking heads, you know, and characters walking like this. So, and this is extremely, you know, straightforward, simple stuff to do in comparison to what we're seeing me doing here at the moment. So as always, I like to lead by example. I like to show my audience. If you can't understand what I say when I say and you don't like it, because a lot of people are into anime and they don't like it. I'm not here to try to convince you what to like, all right? I'm just here to help you get to high standards, and I'm here to help you understand what high standards and what high level in animation is. You know, once you mature a bit, once you get a little bit understanding of animation, then you'll know that you can still like that stuff, and it might be inspiring because you think, well, I can knock it out so much quicker, and I don't have to work as hard as this guy here doing all this stuff, because I don't want to do that kind of stuff. I want to do anime stuff. I want to knock content out quickly. So I'm showing you how to do that. And this is also a way, if you're a professional, because we get professionals coming on my stream all the time. This is also a way to test out, to do your own projects while at work. Right, so what I'm going to do now is, before I go and do the L from Stranger Things, is I'm going to just make this my life a little bit easier, right, with this by flipping. And you see, with this animation, you really do need to draw, all right? With the animation, which is why a lot of people in forums that like anime say, oh, if you get your drawing down, the animation is easy. Well, yeah, if you're going to do that kind of simple, limited, slidey, shift and trace, almost cutout style of animation, yeah, you just manipulate one drawing and you know, change it up a bit, and you've got a lot of seconds done, all right? Whereas with this stuff, here I think we're gonna make him blink. Let's make him blink in this. Whereas with this stuff, it's, you can't. You have to draw. You have to draw properly. You can't just take one little drawing. And again, this is, I hope I'm illustrating you the difference between what I call real animator and it's not that the other stuff isn't real animation. I mean, everything's real, you know. So, but if you go to the metaphor and the example that I'm setting with my brand of real animator, and what I'm trying to get across is look, come on, this is the real stuff. This is stuff that's testing the artist. It's making the artist really have to think, have to work, have to utilize all those laws of animation. And you know, it's difficult stuff that takes years and years of training, of immersing yourself in animation law, anatomy study, life drawing, all these things. Now, true, the manga anime animators, they are exceptionally good at illustrative drawing. They're exceptionally good at life drawing, and some of them and they understand animation well enough to do some nice stuff. But a lot of that stuff is just taking one drawing and manipulating it a little bit, which is again my illustration of, you know, if you want to be a digital puppeteer, I can understand if you want to have that kind of flat, dead anime look. But if you're really going for life, you know, you're gonna really need to have to understand this stuff. Okay, so I have done 14 minutes in. I've done this, so it's taken me around 14 minutes to do this rough drawing, which I will tidy up. But before I tidy it up, I'm gonna come back here, and I'm gonna do the 11 character from Stranger Things. Now, I've got a few more people in my audience here. I'm not going to tell you what I've imagined her saying, but let's see if you can guess what she's saying, right? Okay. Let's move that really slowly. Let's see if you can guess from the mouth shape. All right. Now, I'm going to build on this animation. I'm just making up whatever comes into my mind. But before I go and add the new frame of L, I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about how you can get to this level, how you can start to produce animation of this standard, and then you can get even better and be able to juggle 2-3 scenes at a time, like the way I'm doing here. Now, it won't come to you in a year, it won't come to you in 2 years, just to make you know that. I've got 20 years of experience and I am a super elite level animator. But here's the thing, I'm giving you everything I know in this training library. So if you go to ambanimation.com, I've spent 5 years building this. It's called the Real Animator Training Library. You simply go here, you've got all this information, tons of videos to watch, tons of things to read. If you click join now, you'll also be able to see the work from other people who have joined the library. So you'll see that it is life transformational. I'm not just shooting my mouth off here. I have got people to very, very advanced levels in a very short space of time. So you got training archives. Training archives are step-by-step courses where this is where you really learn the stuff, all right, the real stuff. So what you're watching me do here is what we can call edutainment, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, all right? But this is where you're really going to learn. Everything is separated into separate archives, basics, where you deal with bouncing balls, swinging pendulums, and stick figures, and you learn about the 6 basic laws of movement. The intermediate archive, you deal with flour sacks, quadrupeds, more stick men, and you learn about the 6 laws of life. So just to consolidate to you, it's very important. You're never going to get to this level, right, if you don't understand animation law. And understanding animation law simply isn't memorizing the 12 principles. It's understanding each and every one of these laws. It's understanding timing, right? Let's go through them together. Arcing, right? Slow in and slow out, right? Solid drawing, right? Pose to pose and straight ahead, right? It's understanding all these things. Follow through, overlap, and drag, right? And then we'll put 7 here, which is squash and stretch, right? So these are the 6 laws of movement. Then we've got the 6 laws of life. We've got squash and stretch, anticipation, right? Anticipation. After anticipation, we've got primary and secondary action. That's what makes this so bloody good. Primary and secondary action. This character is really acting. This, on the other hand, is just all primary action, right? There's a little bit of secondary action going on there, but it's all more or less primary action. Primary, secondary action, right? Then we've got staging, and we've got exaggeration, right? And we've got appeal. Again, if you've memorized these things, that's a good party trick, but it ain't gonna help you unless you can actually systematically understand and apply these things. Acquired knowledge and knowing how to execute it. So these are the 12 laws, the 6 laws of movement and the 6 laws of life. So what the basics and intermediate archive will give you is the 6 laws of movement in the basics and the 6 laws of life in the intermediate, right? You then go on into the advanced archive and you learn how to draw it all on model. So you're going to move away from stick figures and you're going to learn how to deal with characters like this, right? You're going to learn how to deal with high quality Disney animation, and you're going to learn how to understand how to get to this level. You can, and then you'll understand, as I'm going to show you, just how straightforward and simple and wooden and stiff, but it's fun and people like it, and that's why I'm doing it. It's kind of got appeal and exaggeration, so the laws are still in there, but how straightforward anime is in comparison to Disney. But anyway, we're not having a contest here. I'm basically giving you the level, the elite best possible level you can get to, and you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? You want to animate anime, go animate anime. You want to challenge yourself and do the high level stuff. You at least you know how to do it because you've been to this place. The animation lectures and seminars are not step by step. They're like consolidatory seminar material that you can watch to keep you motivated while doing these very, very focused, strenuous exercises. The Anatomy Archive will take you through every bone of the human body, because whether it's muscles or whether it's clothes or garments, for example, you see me drawing this character here. Let's just create a new frame. You see me drawing this dog, right? I make his shape like this, right? I make shapes like this, and the dog is there, right? But the thing is, this still requires anatomy. Now, muscle anatomy is important, but the fact of the matter is, when you're doing this stuff, you need to understand bones, right? Because everything sits on top of bones. So, we're not going to see his muscles, but we're going to need to understand where his thorax is, where his spine is, where his pelvis is, what his leg joints are doing. Let's make him like a, oh dear. Right. So you need to understand bones. Okay. So bones are where the animator, the real animator, really has to have their foundational anatomical knowledge. Again, the illustrator is obsessed with dressing up one drawing. The animator has to understand movement, and it's ultimately shapes moving where the bones are, right? Okay, so that's that. That's the training library. Go change your life with that. Very quickly, the Edutainment Archive is pretty much like what you're watching me doing now. You're going to watch me animate a little bit of this L in a minute, so stick around if you want to see that. So you're watching animation sessions, drawing sessions, Ask the Animator animation breakdowns, live Q&As. This is the most powerful archive, how to animate your own film. You watch me make a film from start to finish, okay, with this high level quality Disney animation. You watch me design the characters, you watch me create the backgrounds, you watch everything happen, you can even watch the whole little, it's a 2-minute film, you watch me make it over the entirety of these live streams. So you can watch the whole 2-minute film here. You can see it's very high level animation. It's all been knocked out over 56 live streams, and you can watch the whole thing happen before your eyes. And a lot of the time I'm having a laugh with the audience as well. That's what makes this stuff edutainment, okay, rather than focused hardcore training to get you to this super high elite level. So just remember these words: real animator. Ask yourself, are you one? Do you want to be one? Well, you can be one if it's your desire to be one. This is the place. It doesn't give you the right way, it doesn't give you the wrong way, it simply shows you the real way that you can turn your life around and start getting shit done. Okay, so that is the Real Animator Training Library. As promised, now we're going to knock out some frames of this Stranger Things. Oh dear, I just saw in the chat, just bear with me, I just saw the word, I'm so sorry, Charlene. I just want to, I hope it's not what I think it is. I just need to see. I am doing well. I finally got our new fridge. Okay, I don't see what's going on. So I hope everything's all right with Charlene. I really care about my community. Oh, it's our fridge. Ballerina is fine. Thank God. Thank God. Sorry, Charlene. Yeah, I'm sorry about your fridge, but obviously I'm going to care a little bit more about the cat. All right. So, so we're going to come back and tidy this frame up after we knock out a few frames of this. Okay, so I've been doing this, making up this. I said she'll make a step forward. She'll say something here. So now she's going to do her little Tetsuo. All right, so we're going to make her do her Tetsuo thing. And again, I'm gonna show you how simple this anime stuff is, right? So I've got her. I've already kind of used. I've only using really just 2 poses. So I'm gonna take this here, right? I'm gonna copy this. And I'm gonna paste this right back here. Does it work? Does it work? So she's here. Yeah. Maybe I will change the shoulders. We won't have the shoulders coming up again on this like this. So I will change the shoulders, right? And I will take the head here and shift it down a bit, right? Right, so, but that's not all that I'm going to do, right? So I'm going to yellow this. We're going to push it just a little bit more before you start thinking I'm being too... we're going to make the expression a little bit more... let's get a slightly bigger brush, right? So we're going to make her more angry, right? And you're gonna like this. You're gonna like what I'm gonna do, right? You're gonna enjoy. I'm gonna show you just how easy, when you know what you want to do, when you got animation law in your mind. We need a slightly bigger brush for this one. I work with a thinner brush on the other one because it is a lot more involved. There's a lot more thought involved. Again, when it comes to the anime stuff, I am trying to think about putting life and effort, like believability into it. But because of the style of movement, I'm going for that very rigid anime look here. I could animate this character like a Disney character if I wanted to, right? And then I'd have some kind of Prince of Egypt level animation going on. But that's not what I'm doing. I don't care enough about this this project. I'm not going to devote a lot of my time to a hunch or a little epiphany that came to me about let's play a little let's do a little test of, if I animated Elle from Stranger Things, would I get more views for that rather than my own stuff that I'm passionate about? Maybe, maybe not. But here's the thing. I'm now at the level where essentially this is a waste of time for my greater goal, right? And I don't like to do these things. But sometimes as an entrepreneur, you have to do R&D. You have to say, well, is this an effective way of growing the channel? How much time does it take me to do it? So again here, what I like to do to keep this from looking rigged, all right? I could just use the previous outline of the face now, right? If I wanted to, I could just use that. But I want to keep, as I said, by making the drawing again, right, with a new fresh pair of lines, and I would do that with a cleanup line, it would create enough difference to stop it, even as an anime, to stop it from being a cut out, dead thing. And that's the problem with rigged software. Even when you're doing this kind of stuff, by tracing it again, it stops it from looking as dead. So back in the anime days, they would Xerox, or they would use this thing called shift and trace, place and trace, where what you've watched me doing is you've seen me place the head and just retrace it again, right? But that retracing just is enough to give it a little bit. Now what I might do is I might raise the shoulders a little bit differently here, right? And again, we'll just do a little bit to the neckline to keep it. Now, in anime or TV shows, they may not even bother doing these subtle little things I'm doing. It's not like it's going to make that much of a difference. This is very stiff animation, right? But it's just for me, for my knowing what I know, it'll be like little bits of squash and stretch, what you can feel, right? So I'm just gonna consolidate this mouth shape now. I'm stepped away, so I want her clenching her teeth, right? So you see, this was a whole lot quicker to do a key, right? I'm doing a key frame, and it was a whole lot quicker. Now I don't want to put too much lines on the face. I know that anime don't really do that when they animate expressions, right? But I might put a little bit of teeth hair. My mouth is a little more Disney than anime, and that's a willful choice because I can't tolerate the most anime stuff doesn't lip sync. So I just want there to be a little bit more, you know, of my own thing in there, right? So that's that particular key. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick stagger effect, right? As she lowers her head. So she's going to come in here, going to say something, then she's going to look down like that, right? Now what I'm going to do, what I can see is, as I've taken that previous head and had her looking down, I'm going to make a slight bit of mass hair. So as I said, I'm not doing the completely super quick TV way of, you know, I will make adjustments to the face if I see that it's not really helping. What I might do here is willfully make the mouth off balance, right? Like that. It brings the nose a little bit more forward as the head comes down. Right, so let's do a quick staggering effect. All right, so the quick staggering effect is going to be, again, this I'm going to do fairly rough, right? But I'm going to do one in between here, right? So we're going to make her face stagger down. But this is going to be a little bit boring for me to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to juggle. So there has to be one drawing of the head either side at least to make this work. Probably more, right? I don't really care about in betweening the hair because, to be honest, this I would be working straight clean, right? When I used to knock out stuff for TV animation back in the early 2000s for British TV projects, really simple preschool stuff, or, you know, whether it's preschool, well, again, I'm not seeking to irritate the anime fans, it's just low level simple stuff, right? And I'm talking as a professional and how I would approach it. So I would say, well, I don't need to draw rough. Now I'm drawing rough and fast for the sake of the live stream, but so I would be a little slower, but it would still be quicker because I wouldn't need to rough, right? I would just literally do the cleanup straight. I would do the whole animation in complete straight cleanup level, because I would like the things like the actual walk. Even that's really easy. Even that's, if you understand how to do a walk, even that is pretty easy. But I would pretty much knock it all out in a quick, efficient manner. I won't bother with those marks on her, under her thing. So we've got that there. Now I'm going to switch over to the angry mouth shape, right? And again, I'm drawing this mouth shape, but if it was a rig or a puppet, which is how puppet animation is based, you would literally, what they used to do in the TV days is you would take that mouth shape, right? And I don't feel proud doing this. This is so bad in many ways, right? But I'm gonna put that there, and that's that, right? That's that, right? So that's that sorted out. And now, while the head will be staggering, the body will not be staggering, right? God, I hate it when I press undo too many times. So this is the midway one that we are animating here. All right, so that's the midway point. And what I'm going to do is, well, let's make the body stagger as well. You know, I'm being lazy, it doesn't matter. You could have the body animated on a separate level, but it really won't make that bit of difference, right? So the head is going to stagger down. So at the moment it's in betweening all like again, I'm using animate timing here, so as we go into the down we favor and then we come out quick. Here I would slow in a little bit more. I haven't added that frame, and here it would slow in more here. So we've got something like this. So you see, even with this, right? Can you see what I'm doing as a because I can do stuff like this, right? Which is the super advanced high level stuff where look at the various arcs of how he puts the glass down and all that, and the various different arcs of his hand. So even here as I make her shake her head, I make it go in a circle like, oopsie, like this, right? So if you watch her head, comes down, circles there, circles back, up and down again, right? Bum, bum, bum. So we get a little arc circle in her head. However bad the quality is, this is the law of arcing at a high level like this, right? And right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go thank you, Michael Elliott. That indeed I am. I will take that compliment with and swell my chest with pride, because I totally believe that to be so, and I'm so happy that you are saying that. Thank you. Right, so we are now 37 minutes in, so I'm going to consolidate this frame, right? Getting shit done, right? So let's go here and let's tidy that up. Oopsie, we've drawn on the background layer. Edit, cut, edit, paste, right? And we're gonna do that to that. All right, so now let us sort out this guy's volumes, right? Because again, I'm cleaning all this stuff up myself. So I'm gonna put that back brush size back down to 2. So if I'm cleaning all this stuff up myself, people wonder, like, if you think about it, like, I did a lot of stuff in just 1 year. Okay, I made a 2-minute film for the Santa Claus Christmas thing, which actually took me 6 24-hour days if you add up the time. And I made a 1.5-minute pilot for an idea for a project that I would like to have taken further. And if you can fund that project on my website if you'd like to see more stuff being done on it. But at the moment, I'm putting it on hold, is my Little Red Riding Hood thing. And all of that basically was, it took longer than a year to put it out there because I was going through a lot of stuff. I lost my father at the end of last year, but he was suffering from dementia. And, it wasn't the best time. So I had to deal with all of that. And I had to keep the training library going, keep building tutorials. And I had to, and then on top of that, I made these, almost 4 minutes of super high quality hand-drawn animation, all on my own within a year, right? So, again, I'm not going to waste your time and show you those projects. You can find them on my channel. The Little Red is on my channel homepage. The Santa Claus Christmas, you can either go and look at the edutainment archives of the training library and watch the 2-minute film in the sales window, or you can find it on my channel in how to animate your own film. There's a video upload of that, right? So I was always pretty efficient when I worked in the industry, but I'm carrying that stuff over with me, and I'm sharing with you how I would juggle things. So, you know, don't think, oh, on this day I will do this, or on that day I will do that. Doing this drawing twice is pretty boring, right? But I have to do it twice. In fact, I have to do it 3 times nice. How does that song Magic in Ghostbusters go? My baby told me once, my baby told me twice, my baby told me 3 times nice. Heaven knows what they're talking about. But the thing is that's true. I got to do this drawing 3 times. So this is the kind of like lockdown, and then I will clean it up, right? So it's pretty boring having to just do that. So sometimes I like to play. I'll be doing my groundhopper designs. I'll be thinking about I'll do some drawings of the AMB lady. But today or yesterday night, I knocked out that Stranger Things thing so fast. We're talking like in under an hour, that I basically said, okay, well, I'm going to do a stream when I wake up tomorrow, where I've basically got a lot to do. I've got a lot of these tie-drawn drawings to make. But as I make that stream, I'm going to share with my loyal subscribers, followers, training library members, this process of juggling stuff and getting a lot of stuff done, and just being super efficient, super fast. People think, and again, this is why I always belittle the software. People think it's the software that saves you time. The software wastes your time because it basically upholds your ignorance and lack of knowledge of and understanding of how to do good animation. You're basically thinking that, oh, the computer's going to do it for me. This program will do it for me. Yeah, you're building the models, you're moving stuff around, but you're ignorant to the real animation principles and laws. Your drawing skill needs a lot of work, and it's important for you to really focus on these things and develop in these areas. So it's not the software that makes you a demon, right? It's not the software that makes you super fast, super effective. It's understanding those things and knowing how to do those things. So it doesn't matter what style you're doing. You know, I could have a cutout rig if I wanted to, if I could be bothered to learn how to do that crap, but I don't consider it animation. Consider it puppetry, which is not what I do. I'm an animator. So I would just apply these same things. So what you see me doing with the anime thing is it's so much simpler than this, but it's still effectively the same thing. Now with this inanimate object that he's holding, I'm going to do the shift and trace hair, right? So it's the same thing, but in the appropriate manner. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to move that, oopsie, and I'm going to move that where that should be. I'm going to look at the relation of his fingers and hands with that, right? So we're going to delete that. We're going to make that red, and that's that, right? So he's looking nice and tidy now, right? That's that done. Another, another frame bites the dust, and another one, and another one. Okay, so here we've got, see, I haven't been tidying. I could have tidied those up a little bit more, but then I've decided to go and tidy all this. There's a lot of stuff to do here now. Each one of these probably having to be done twice, okay, in order to lock it down to get me to clean it up. So it can get boring, so let's go and do some more of this now, right? So 44 minutes. Let's stay online for an hour, right? So let's see how far we get this done, right? So another 15 minutes of this, right? So she's lowering here. So let's start doing our little stagger animation, right? Bum, bum, bum. So what I'm going to do. So I will do 2 frames of this girl and go back to doing 1 frame of that guy, right? So we're gonna in between this, right? So this is super easy. I'm gonna get I'm gonna keep the brush thinner because we're working in the lines. And again, this is something that you should do with the complete straight clean black line. I don't know if I'm gonna want to waste my time cleaning up this animation. Maybe if I did, it would get more views. The whole purpose of this was to see if I would get more views. If people saw a very professional looking anime Stranger Things thing, maybe that would be to my benefit. But again, it's you got to think about your life as well. Do I want to spend my life doing that? Maybe if I hit a super viral thing with that, you know, if I hit the right trend, if I did this every day, and then eventually I'll hit the right trend because I'm a performing monkey doing what people, you know, creating content based on stuff that might interest me or might not interest me. Yes, it's quick to do, but like, you know, everything is compound interest. More and more of my time will be wasted. I'm not passionate about this, right? You know, but then maybe I might tidy it up and color it someday, right? I've already missed the Stranger Things bubble of when it was the new thing came out, so maybe I won't bother. But at the moment, I'll use it for a video to kind of like share with you guys about the process of working efficient and fast. Okay, so we have her head is in between. That's 1. We're almost done, right? So we've got this. This is how we're going to get the stagger working. So we need quite a few frames of her like this. Otherwise, the stagger is not really going to work, right? So we'll just make that happen in a... So this is 1 here. I'm going to come and look at the stream and see if anybody has any questions for me while I'm bombing through this stuff. Right, so we've got 1 on this side, blam, blam, blam. You see, this is again another reason I've come online is to inspire you all to put down your mouse or Wacom pen and pick it up again if it's a Wacom pen or a whatever pen, you know, or Artisan, or I don't know the name of the other ones. But when you pick it up again, say this time I'm going to use it for what it was intended. I'm going to use it to draw and not play with software hierarchies and menus, because I can draw, and this is why I wanted to do this stuff. Right, so we've got this, right? So we'll do just 1 more on the other side, right? So we'll put 1 more on the other side. Coming down like that. So we're going to have that like this. Bum, 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 bum. Oops, I'll look at the chat. Do we have anything in the chat? Don Conrad looks so good. Yes, he does. Thank you. Thank you for people talking about my father. Okay, Joseph Parker, when is Red Riding Hood going to be released? Okay, maybe some of you don't know, all right? I've already talked about the training library. I have no intention of selling you stuff. Well, I do, my training library, but that's already been spoken about. So, but just to let you guys know, okay, the Little Red, I opened a funding for it. So if you go to Freeview, you'll see there's how to make your own animated film. You'll go to Little Red Hair, right? Continue reading, okay? So if you go to this hair, you can see there's a Help Make Little Red a Reality link, right? So this is the teaser trailer that I made that I was talking about earlier. And here it shows that only 1 minute and 21 seconds of 4 minutes has been completed. Now, here's an explanation of what I intend to do with it, how much I've tried to raise with it. To some people, that might seem like a lot of money for phase 2, but not really, because if you think, I mean, I've had over I've almost 200,000 people watching this trailer. If I just got $1 or even 50 cents from from them, I would be pretty close to getting this done. So I was hoping that people would be excited about watching this and want to see more, because people always say they want to see more traditional animation, more classic Disney animation. So I was hoping that people would be like excited about it and want to see more, and and that was how we could get Real Animator Studios off the mark. It didn't quite happen in that regard. I did YouTube advertising, and basically my ad budget was way more than what I got back from the donations. Maybe I wasn't clear that there was donations in it. I was discreet. There's many takeaways that I can get from a learning experience of how to do your own crowdfunder from this. As I said, so I don't consider this project to be a failure at all, but it's on hold while I'm doing other things. I've taken it as far as I want to take it. I've done 1 minute and 21 seconds of it. If you want to see more of it, if you want to see the full 4-minute thing completed, then consider helping out. And then I can start bringing people. There's some Real Animator Training Library members who are ready to I feel that's the case. I was reading Silver Sun's comment, who are ready to help me out with this, so it will be done a lot faster, and I can afford to pay them, because I would never make them work for free. We got people like Life Fantasy in the chat. Kevin Silver is now ready to work on this. He could in between on this. Octavio Velasquez, Doug Stoley, Aaron AOX, Charlene is ready to. Charlene could in between on this. Kitchacat could work on this. We've got so many people that I've got ready to get involved, but we just couldn't get any significant amount from this. So I'm with Groundhopper. I may not do it this way, because I've learned some lessons here, and I may move over and do a Kickstarter and hire a Kickstarter campaign manager who's successful, who'll be able to ensure that gets done, because this is going to happen. Real Animator Studios is happening, and it's happening right now, and you're watching it all the time happening as you're seeing me creating more and more of this amazing content. And it's just going to be a matter of time before people go, I want more of that, I want more of that. So Little Red, thank you for the question, Joseph. I love it. I would love to do more of it, but I tried something. It's a stepping stone. In my opinion, it's a very successful stepping stone, because it also served as a confidence builder to me. Now, some of you might say, this guy shoots his mouth off all the time. He is good, but he's a bit, does he need any more confidence? Yes, because coming from an industry background, I used to think that I would never be able to knock out my own stuff so fast. And I would need people to help me with it. I would need people. I would need a budget. So I would be worrying about the budget before I'd even begun, right? So I was able to do a lot of stuff. I was able to be super efficient, and Little Red was very important in helping me build awareness of my own abilities in that regard. So, and again, if it weren't for Little Red, I wouldn't be making a stream like this for you, because however much, like, even though back in my industry days I would juggle projects, as I said, I would juggle storyboard projects. Once I had 3 projects going on at a time. I was doing this thing called Mad Hatter Chronicles, and storyboarding that, and I was storyboarding this show called Horrid Henry, and then there was this UK advertising company called Nexus that would pay me around about 250 Great British pounds a day to go in and storyboard a commercial for them. Now, the commercial was just a couple of days. Well, why is that not showing up? I'm drawing that. Oh, for some reason the brush size went down. So the commercial was only a couple of days worth of work, right? So I say, well, that's an extra five. What was it? My maths is really bad. Three times 250, right? 700, whatever. I don't know. Like my maths is awful. 500, 750, right? An extra 750 pounds, all while I'm doing other storyboard gigs for, where I've got a big, hefty paycheck coming after the commission is completed in a month or whatever. So I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's go and do it. So I was always juggling stuff in my professional career, but at the same time, the level of awareness of because I'm in an environment where there's everybody. Oh, I'm just going to do the storyboard. Here I'm doing everything. I'm doing backgrounds. I'm doing layouts. I'm doing storyboard. I'm doing animation, all for my own stuff, character design and all that stuff. So Little Red was extremely instrumental in showing me, well, yeah, you can be a one-man studio. And well, I tried that mute misery and it didn't get spread. The thing is I worked very hard on Little Red and I didn't want it getting just the usual 1,000 odd views that my videos get. So just for my own sanity, I'm like, well, I'm gonna run YouTube ads so I know that enough people saw it, right? Enough people saw it and did it, right. So here we can see that this is walking forward, says what it says. Now this is gonna stagger into this, right? But I'm not gonna do the stagger just yet, right? We're gonna come back and we're gonna tackle another frame of this guy. 56 minutes in. We'll stay a little. What's the time now? Oh, my daughter is sending me a text. I may have to quit the stream in a minute. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to finish the stagger of L. I'm going to do 2 more drawings of L, right? And you'll see what the stagger looks like, right? Because the anime is just so much easier than the Don Carnage, and I've got to get out of here so I can only be on here this live stream for only 15 more minutes, right? So I'm going to try 2 things, right? So between here and here, we're going to add another frame, right? We need at least 2 on either side for this to work, right? So let's do this, right? 1 here like this, right? Now I'm going to be a little bit quiet and I'm just going to burn through this, right? So I don't, I might talk a little bit, but I'm going to be a little bit less because this is real monkey work and I want you guys to see the stagger. And then after the stagger, I've already worked out in my mind I'm going to make her nose bleed, right? And then there's going to be a load of things. You could do a load of things flying up behind her in the background, right? Or something like that, right? So again, with the mouse shape, we can just jump straight into the mouse shape. It doesn't matter. Just be super fast. Some of these is almost like tracing the line. Again, if you're working clean, you'd be a lot slower with this, but then your output would be faster because I don't need to do the drawing twice. But this is all basically just for you guys to see on the stream and have something nice to look at and say, oh yeah, that works, right? So it doesn't take too long, right? I'm just spitting this out, right? Bum, 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 bum. Like that. Yeah, the Little Red question did take up a little bit of time on the stream, but at the end of the day, I don't mind, because if it brings awareness to people about what I'm doing, then that's really important. More important than the Stranger Things hunch that I just had. You see how fast it is, right, when you know what you're doing. That's the trick to it, right? So I don't really care about making that so nice. We're already quite rough. Bum, 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 bum. Again, a lot of people would try and use place and trace to in between this. Not a good idea. It's gonna stagger anyway, right? You could do the stagger with a rigged puppet, right? You could do this stuff with your rigged puppet, but because it's not drawn, as I said, the very fact that your pencil lines are drawn, even when you're tracing, it gives it a sense of life that the other thing wouldn't have. And when you're out there, you can see that it looks kind of quite clean anyway. This is a super fluid head, right? So I'm gonna do one on, we've got then there, one there. Let's just try. I'm gonna see if I can get away with this, right? So this I'm gonna add a frame here, right? I'm gonna get this frame and I'm gonna paste this frame in here, right? Then we're gonna go here and I'm gonna get this frame, right? And I'm gonna paste this frame in here, right? So we've got right? That's wrong. This. Okay, that shouldn't be there. Okay, yeah, because I'm going too far ahead of myself, right? So now I'm gonna get this frame, right? That frame should have actually been here, right? Copy frame, paste that, right? So this, I don't need this frame anymore. So it's like right? Right? So now we're going to make this here. We're going to copy that. We're going to paste that in there. Right, let's just quickly test it. Right, it's a little bit too much, right, because I haven't used enough of it. So what I'm going to do instead, right, is I'm going to take the initial slow in there. So I'm going to delete that one. So we're going to slow in to, we're going to go halfway and then start the stagger, right? I'm going to go halfway and then start the stagger. So we're going to take that there like that, right? Yes, and now we're going to start the stagger, right, to make it more convincing. So in order for that to happen, I have to do a few more in-betweens. What's the time? Okay, I've got 5 more minutes. We can get this done, right? So we're gonna have her go up to this point, right? Now I need to in between just 2 frames, I think. Okay. To make this feel more natural, right? We want the stagger to feel more natural. When you do a stagger, you know, they look best on ones, and you need a lot of lots of tight in betweens, right? Otherwise it looks kind of like what I did before. I'm trying to save time and do it as fast as possible, but for something like this you need those frames, right? So it's just one of those things, right? You have to hang around if you want to see what it looks like. I'm going to finish in about 5 minutes. Right, 2 drawings. And then right, and it might be just a little tremor. Right. So there's this one here. Right. Bum bum. Actually, what I think I can do there with the body. No, I was trying to be quick. You see, what's happened here? The brush size goes down for some reason, probably because I'm pressing something on my Cintiq. Right. It's amazing how when you're making these lines and you're thinking about time, you're thinking, oh, this is taking so long. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't take a long amount of time. You see, time really is relative, right? Because and rushing, right? Rushing is another thing that makes everything feel like it's taking a long time. So psychologically, I know that this is taking no time at all, right? Especially with what we're doing. But because I know that I'm not going to be able to hang around for much longer on this stream, I want to get a certain thing done, so I'm aware of that, and it's making it take however long. Almost reminding me back in the days when I used to work from home. I used to go into an animation studio, and the animation studio would be closing at a certain time, and I didn't want to be the one with the keys, because if you stayed, sometimes I would stay till 9, 10. Once I stayed till 12 midnight, and they give you the keys and they say you have to come tomorrow and open up then, right? And I really didn't want to do that, so I would then, and so we're going to do one more. So I would be working like this, watching the clock, saying, oh, I want to get as much done as I can before that guy goes, because if that guy goes, I'm going to be given the keys, and I really don't want to have the responsibility of getting up in the morning and coming and having a few people waiting for me to show up with the keys, right? So that was one of the fun memories of my industry days before I started working completely from home. As it's funny because as an animator, I did a few scenes, on some stuff where I would take it home and work the weekend, right, so it doesn't matter because it's staggering, so these dancing lines may add to it, but we want it to be in between enough, right? Bum, bum, bum. Right. This also helps you with your precision line placement. Just very quickly because when you do this, you got to have your line exactly halfway, or even here traced on top of the previous one. So sometimes it's a good exercise to, if you want to warm up with your drawing, if you want to improve your line placements, it's a good exercise to just go in there and start trying to trace another drawing and get your line either accurately on at a super quick rate, right? So bum bum bum, right, so almost there. almost there. We're gonna throw in our little stagger. Right, let's see if this works. I'm glad Mute Midori is excited about this little Stranger Things. So maybe my hunch was a little bit right. There you go. But I'm happy, you know. Okay, so we have bum bum bum. Right, so let's, now that midpoint was the stagger, right? So I'm going to add this frame here, and I'm going to take this, copy, and I'm going to paste that there like that, right? So this one here. Now we're going to go here, and I'm going to add another frame here, and I'm going to take this one, and we're going to paste that in. Bum 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 bum. Right. So now we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to add that, and we're going to copy that, and we're going to paste that in there like that. All right. So a subtle little stagger at the end. I did one Don Carnage today, right? So there is Don Carnage, Lady Tigre Comics. The whole stream is about juggling, right? So here like this, right? So then there's that little stagger at the end. So can you see, right? So then now I will keep that stagger going, right? But you can see how this stuff works now, right? And it's not hard to do it. And it creates that effect. So she's like that. And then she'll keep, you know, staggering, and her nose will bleed, right? So it gives that feeling and that effect of what it all looks like. All right, so that is it. I hope you've enjoyed this quick live stream of how great animators get shit done, right? And I hope I've illustrated to you just how straightforward it is to do anime styles, dialogue anime style movements that aren't, even, you know, even the Sakuga stuff is simple. I've showed it on many streams, but you know, I'm not going to try and convince anybody that it's simple. But hopefully you've seen that this is really straightforward. It's kind of brainless in comparison to the more involved Disney stuff. And the drawing is a lot simpler. So it's been my absolute pleasure to help you guys. I would love to stick around and chat with you guys, but I'm going to be taking my daughter somewhere today. So I've got to go and quickly get ready. Thankfully, I've got such dashing good looks. I don't have to make an effort to get dressed. Okay, no, I love mucking around. But yeah, again, very quickly, visit ambanimation.com. Check out the website. Check out Real Animator Training. Check out Little Red. Yeah, I'm going to read the comments of this stream. So I will just see what you guys thought of the stream off stream. Sorry I couldn't hang around today. I would have actually got even more shit done if I didn't choose to stream. But I love sharing. I just love sharing. And I love you guys. You're like my little community. You're like my friend. And if I don't stream too often, I start missing you all. So it was a lot of fun. Cheers. I will see you all on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.